All right, let's jump in. Today we're tackling self-advocacy in action. And I reckon the healthcare setting is where a lot of folks start. Hospital corridors, waiting rooms. Who hasn't had their brain turned to mush there? Harper, you ever try prepping a note for the doc and end up doodling your lunch order instead?
Honestly, yes, all the time. But honestly, prepping notes it's so underrated. Like, just jot down stuff. What hurts, what you want to ask, what weird rash appeared overnight. Wait, TMI? But seriously, it helps you walk in with a plan and keep focused. Especially if, like me, your mind always goes blank under those fluorescent lights.
Absolutely. And sometimes, even with your list, you might get sidetracked. Or, if you're like my mate Sam, you end up talking about the weather with the GP and forget to mention your main concern. I was actually with him last month. Mobility issues, right? We brought a list. Doctor was a bit rushed, so we jumped in, politely but firmly, like, hang on, we've got a couple more questions. That little bit of preparation made sure everything important got covered. Bringing someone for backup is gold, really.
I love that, Eric. And don't forget, many clinics have patient rights posted, those NHS charters or even just signs saying you can have an advocate with you. Use them. It's not being pushy, it's knowing your rights. Plus, having a support person, sometimes just as moral support, can help you remember what the doctor said, especially after hearing, "Let's run more tests."
Yeah, and if you're like me and you walk out then realise you forgot to ask half your questions, follow up. A phone call, a portal message, whatever works. Remember, it's not a one-and-done visit. Healthcare's a team sport, and you're the captain, all right?
Let's swing over to the workplace. Because honestly, as much as I love a movie night, I spend way more hours at work. Kinda wish I didn't, but here we are. Self-advocacy at work starts with knowing your rights. And yeah, that includes both UK practices, like the Equality Act we talked about in Episode 1, and whatever agency you report to. Document it all. Emails, requests. Don't rely on, "I mentioned it in the break room."
Absolutely. I reckon most people hear accommodation and think it has to be a big, flashy thing. But sometimes it's just asking for software or a different desk chair. Had a mate, dyslexic, asked for assistive software. All it took was a written note, a quick chat with HR, and voila, productivity up, stress down.
Yeah, or for wheelchair users, hey Harper, the ask might be about accessible bathrooms or a ramp. It doesn't have to be a confrontation. I tell clients, try leading with, "Here's what helps me do my job best," and frame it as a collaborative thing. How can we make this work? Sometimes managers need that nudge, but a friendly nudge goes far.
And if that first nudge meets a brick wall, keep it calm, keep it documented. I know it sounds dry, but those notes can make all the difference. Like, picture a scenario. You explain what you need, show how it improves your performance, and you ask to revisit it after a month. If they say no, at least you've got it in writing, and you can go up the ladder if you must. Sometimes advocacy means a bit of paperwork, but it's worth it in the end.
Also, don't wait till things are dire, you know? Request what you need before it becomes an emergency. Even if your hands are a bit sweaty sending that email, you're doing the right thing. I promise.
Outside of work in the doctor's office, day-to-day self-advocacy really comes alive with the community. Find local advocacy groups, online forums, even a WhatsApp group. We've got so many options now. And, Harper, you're the queen of this. Sometimes it's just about asking for what you need on the bus or in the cinema.
Okay, speaking of cinemas, Eric, you want to take this one? Your story is way better than my popcorn obsession.
Ha, the infamous cinema incident. So, I show up, keen to watch the film, only to find there's no captions despite asking ahead of time. Bit of a British moment. I was all, "Excuse me, could I possibly..." Eventually had to insist. It felt awkward, but by calmly explaining why captions matter for people with hearing loss, the manager actually sorted it out for the next screening. That was a learning moment. Sometimes you're not only advocating for yourself, you're showing others it's okay to ask.
Exactly. And the same logic goes for the train, classroom, or concert. People do listen. Sometimes you just need to remind them. I remember supporting a student who needed accessible seating at a school assembly. The first time, it felt like pushing against a wall. Second time, people stepped in naturally. Each ask helps the next one go smoother, you know?
And even if it feels like a small thing, requesting a seat or turning on captions, you never know who's watching and picking up confidence from your effort. That's community in action, day by day.
Now, let's talk about building those support networks. I mean, you don't have to do any of this alone. There are advocacy groups focused on everything from rare diseases to mobility to neurodiversity. Well, look, there it is, David. You nearly got me with that word.
Oi, neurodiversity, my arch nemesis. Every time. But honestly, start small. Go to a local meetup. Try a workshop on communication skills, or get involved online. Sometimes just hearing "me too" changes everything.
Workshops are great for that too. You walk away with tips on how to phrase what you need, and often you pick up real strategies, like how to keep your boundaries clear when someone steamrolls you. I love a good role play exercise. Okay, maybe love is too strong, but you know what I mean.
Or if you're team organization like me, you might make a simple advocacy plan. What are your 3 main goals? Who do you need to talk to? What's your key message? It's not so different from project management, just with more feelings and fewer spreadsheets. Keep it flexible. You're allowed to adjust as you learn more.
And tell someone your plan. Having one person cheer you on makes all the difference. Trust me, even a "Hey, did you follow up with your GP?" can keep you moving forward.
Now, tell me if I'm wrong, but doesn't it feel like every good plan runs smack into a wall at some point? Stigma, red tape, or my favorite, the "that's just the way things are" crowd.
Could not agree more. But recognizing those challenges early helps. If you know bureaucracy is coming, you can prep more evidence, bring an advocate, or brace for a marathon of emails. And when it's stigma, well, there are times you just need to bring in allies or let a bad comment roll off. Because honestly, it's not your job to educate everyone every moment.
I keep a little victory log, just, noting what went well or what I'd do differently. It's so easy to focus on setbacks, but if you look back, you'll see patterns. Okay, this worked with transit staff, not so much with the housing office. Sometimes tweaking your approach, maybe trying phone over email, makes all the difference. Adapt, adapt, adapt. That's my mantra.
And celebrate every progress. Even a tiny win counts. If you stand up for yourself, keep at it, and don't give up after a tough day, well, you're building resilience. That's what gets you through the next barrier. Where was I going with this? Oh, right. And if you have a rough patch, reach out to your network. Someone else has probably been through it too.
So, you might be on a roll, advocating, making progress. But how do you keep it going? Set check-ins with your support crew, even if it's a group text. Hey, did we all hit our goals this month? You keep each other accountable.
And find a tracking system that works. Could be a notebook, could be an app. Just jot down what you asked for, what happened, how you felt afterward. It all adds up. That way, if you hit a snag, you've got a roadmap for what to tweak.
Oh, and take time for self-reflection. Journal about what you said, what felt strong, or what you want to try next time. It helps with confidence, sort of like leveling up. Plus, when you see your growth, you remember, hey, I can do this.
Exactly. It's like baking sourdough. You don't always get a perfect loaf, but you learn from every try. Actually, I always botch the first rise, but I keep going. Self-advocacy's the same. Adjust, reflect, keep the momentum, and celebrate your wins, no matter how small. All right, let's wrap up.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Beyond the Label. Your voices matter, and every step forward counts.
We'll be back soon with more tips, stories, and probably more snack-based analogies from David. Take care, everyone.
Stay bold, stay curious, and hey, keep asking those questions. That's how we change the world, one conversation at a time.
Couldn't have said it better. Thanks, Claudia, Eric, Harper, and thanks to all of you listening. Catch you next time on Beyond the Label. Goodbye, folks.